What happened to the children of Billy Ray Cyrus? You remember the mullet, the boots, and that aching anthem of the early 90s? Achy Breaky Heart didn't just launch a country music craze. It launched Billy Ray into every living room in America, dancing alongside moms and daughters alike in neon-lit living rooms. But while America was busy line dancing, a different rhythm was playing inside Billy Ray's life. The pulse of a family that would grow beyond any honky-tonk hit, one shaped by six children, each with their own beat. And like any real country ballad, this one's laced with love, loss, and the quiet ache of figuring out who you are when everyone thinks they already know. You begin in that Tennessee farmhouse where Brandi, the eldest, learns to ride before she learns to text. She's not born a Cyrus, technically, but when Billy Ray marries Tish in 1993, he adopts her like a natural verse in a song that's already halfway written. By then, the Achy Breaky fame has crested. He's been on tour buses and magazine covers, but at home, Brandi remembers something quieter. The smell of horses, the sound of records playing through the walls, the way her stepdad always called her baby girl, like he meant it. She doesn't chase fame like Miley will. Instead, she finds rhythm in DJ decks, podcasts, and fashion blogs, carving her space in the entertainment world, but on her terms. There's a moment in her 20s, though, when every room she walks into seems to come with a question. So, are you Miley's sister? And sometimes she wants to answer, yes, but I was here first. Just 2 years younger, Ray Cyrus arrives with louder chords. He grows up on power chords and eyeliner, dives into the MySpace wave with his band Metro Station, and in 2007, Shake It explodes across teenage bedrooms like neon glitter. It's his moment, or it should be. But behind the tattoos and stage lights, there's always a shadow, not just of Billy Ray, but of the ever-growing monolith that is Miley. While the world sings along to Hannah Montana, Trace is grinding in clubs, arguing with bandmates, trying to convince the world he's more than just Miley's brother with a lip ring. He dates actresses, gets engaged twice, and breaks up just as fast. His Instagram turns into a digital journal of gym selfies and cryptic captions. In one post he writes, "Fame don't mean peace, it's not bitterness. More like the raw honesty of someone who's still tuning their sound." Then there's Christopher Cody, the name few know, but the one who arrives first. Born in 1992 from a brief relationship Billy Ray had before marrying Tish, Christopher grows up in South Carolina, while the rest of the Cyrus family grows up under Hollywood lights. He doesn't walk red carpets. He doesn't post selfies with dad. In fact, for years, tabloids forget he exists. But he does, quietly, steadily. He studies law, works tech jobs, keeps his circle tight. He said in interviews that he loves his dad, but doesn't really know him. One Christmas passes without a call. Another birthday goes unmarked. It's not dramatic, just distant. And sometimes that's worse. There's a quiet dignity to Christopher's life, one not fueled by likes or limelight. And maybe that's the most Cyrus thing of all. Then comes the firecracker. Miley, born the same year as Christopher, but raised in a different galaxy. By the time she's 13, she's Hannah Montana, Disney royalty with a blonde wig and a secret identity, the kind of fame that melts plastic and warps timelines. Billy Ray plays her on-screen dad and off-screen guardian, but somewhere in the blur of filming, touring, and marketing deals, the lines start to blur. When her career skyrockets, his dims. He says in an interview once that Hannah Montana destroyed my family, and no one knows whether to laugh or cry. Miley, ever defiant, breaks from the Disney mold with a wrecking ball. Literally. And yet behind every bold reinvention, there's a girl who still calls her dad when her dog gets sick, who performs a ballad called Noah, Stand Still, for her baby sister, who holds on to the house in Tennessee even when she's living in LA. Fame doesn't fracture her, it just makes her wear armor. 6 children, 3 marriages, countless tour stops, and a legacy that's equal parts rhinestone and real grit. And you, watching it all unfold, realize this isn't just a story of celebrity kids. It's about what happens when the music fades and real life begins. You stay with the beat, and the beat leads you to Braison. Born in 1994, he doesn't chase pop stardom or ride punk waves. Instead, he leans into the quiet hum beneath it all. His childhood unfolds in the shadows of Hannah Montana sets and award shows. But while Miley is filming under stage lights, Braison is fishing in the creek behind the house. He plays a little music, dabbles in acting, even models once in a Dolce& Gabbana show. But none of it feels like home. What does? Songwriting, long walks, falling in love with a woman named Stella, and marrying her in a low-key Tennessee wedding far from LA noise. In 2021, they welcome a son, Braison Cyrus. And for the first time, Braison feels the kind of fame that doesn't come from fans. It comes from the way his son looks up at him. Still, he battles the whisper. Another Cyrus? People say, when he releases his debut album. But he keeps writing anyway, letting his music speak softly and say what his last name always screamed. Then there's Noah, the baby of the family, born in 2000, when Billy Ray is balancing TV roles and parenting fame. As a toddler, she plays peekaboo on Hannah Montana sets, her hair tied up in messy buns, her laughter echoing in between takes. But growing up in that orbit does something to a girl. You grow up watching your sister become a household name, your father a relic of a previous decade, and the cameras never leave you, even when you want them to. Noah starts singing early. Her voice has texture, wounded, soulful, a little wild. She drops her first singles in her teens, leaning into indie sadness and echo-heavy production. Critics compare her to Miley, then take it back. Noah has her own sound, aching and honest. But she doesn't pretend it's easy. On social media, she's open about anxiety, depression, the feeling of never being enough in a family that's already too much. In 2021, she earns a Grammy nomination for Best New Artist. The world finally listens. And for a moment, the girl who once stood behind the curtain steps forward. Not as Miley's sister, but as Noah. It's around this time, the early 2020s, that Billy Ray starts fading from the headlines and into nostalgia reels. His achy breaky days are now TikTok remixes. Miley's on talk shows, Noah's charting, Brandi's podcasting, and Braison's cradling his newborn. And in the middle of it all, the family begins to fracture. Tish and Billy Ray separate, quietly, painfully. No tabloid circus, just distance. The kind that creeps into texts left unread, birthday dinners missed, family photos where someone's always cropped out. It hits Trace the hardest. On Instagram, he posts vague messages about loyalty, about real family, about blood not always being thicker than scars. He and Brandi seem close, always have been. Noah and Miley? Not so much anymore. It's not a feud, it's just time. And Billy Ray, somewhere between a new marriage and old regrets, posts photos of horses and sunsets. He still calls his kids my pride, still shows up to their shows when he can. But sometimes you wonder if the man who once sang Busy Man ever stopped being one. There's no villain here, just people learning how to hold on to one another when the lights dim and the songs end. And as the camera pans out on the Cyrus clan, you don't see a perfect family. You see something more human, a tangle of voices, paths, and rhythms, each one trying to sing their truth, even if it's off-key. You settle into the quieter notes now, where fame recedes and memory takes over. Because in the background of every viral moment, every red carpet, every tabloid headline, there was always one name that rarely surfaced: Christopher Cody. Born in 1992, just months before Miley, Christopher is Billy Ray's eldest son from a relationship with Kristen Lucky. While the rest of the Cyrus children are raised under one roof, hopping from Nashville farms to LA stages, Christopher lives a separate life. South Carolina, public school, no entourage, no premieres, no Malibu mansions. His world is grounded, modest. He works in tech, sometimes retail, sometimes law. No Instagram blue check, no concert tours. And yet the distance isn't just physical, it's emotional. He's spoken softly, rarely, about the invisible line that fame drew between him and the rest of the family. Not out of bitterness, but something closer to resignation. His last name echoes, but the spotlight never lands. Still, he holds no grudges. He lives his life, simple and private, perhaps more balanced than any of them. And in a way, that's his quiet rebellion, choosing a normal life in a family defined by the abnormal. Back in the storm center, Miley continues evolving. From Hannah Montana to Wrecking Ball, from country twang to psychedelic pop. She's no longer the kid in cowboy boots. She's a global icon, a woman who's been through reinventions that would crack most stars in half. Her divorce from Liam Hemsworth becomes one of the internet's favorite topics, dissected to death. She loses her house to wildfires. She loses friends. She loses anonymity. But she gains something too, her voice. In 2020, her live cover of Heart of Glass breaks the internet. People remember that under all the shock and glitter, Miley can really sing. It's always been there. The pain, the power. She pours it into plastic hearts and reinvents herself again. Still, she's not immune to loneliness. In an interview, she says she often feels like she's everyone's memory, never anyone's moment. It hits you. Even stars get left behind. At the same time, Noah's voice deepens, in sound and in message. She collaborates with her dad on Noah, Stand Still, a tender track about slowing down in a world that never does. For a fleeting second, the Cyrus bloodline converges, father and daughter harmonizing through heartache. But the song says more than it sings. It's an apology, maybe, a reach across time. And in that moment, you realize, this family doesn't break apart cleanly. It drifts. Then sometimes, like this, it drifts back. Brandi continues her own rhythm. DJ sets in Austin, equestrian events. Podcasts full of laughter and weed jokes. She's not chasing charts, but she's built a brand, one rooted in authenticity and lifestyle over legacy. She posts old photos of her siblings with soft captions like, "Love these crazies," and never explains more than that. She's the bridge, the stable one, the eldest daughter keeping the memory of their childhood in Tennessee alive, even as the rest scatter across genres and cities. You see her at Braison's baby shower, at Noah's small club gigs, at Miley's birthday, quiet, steady, present. In this family of stars and storms, Brandi is the anchor they don't always know they need. And what of Billy Ray, the man who started it all? He remarries in 2022, pop singer Fire Rose, nearly 3 decades his junior. The internet has opinions. The kids stay mostly silent. Some rumors swirl about who congratulated him and who didn't. But you can tell, the family's map has changed. Billy Ray now posts about God, dogs, and guitars. He doesn't tour much. He doesn't chase charts, just writes songs and watches the world move on from him. Or maybe through him. Still, despite everything, the divorces, the breaks, the spotlight's heat, there's a strange beauty to the way the Cyrus family endures. They don't always get along. They don't always show up. But there's a through line that holds: music, memory, and the magnetic pull of childhood summers in Tennessee. You imagine them, just once, all together in that same Nashville house where Brandi first learned to ride, where Trace blasted My Chemical Romance, where Noah picked out her first melody, where Miley used to be just Destiny Hope before she became a mononym. And you realize it's not about being perfect. It's about being real. If you enjoy this video and want more deep dives into the lives of famous families, please consider subscribing. Your support helps us bring these stories to light. Thanks for watching.